Hello, Silent Hill fans. I'm Devin Shatsky, producer of Silent Hill Downpour, and this is...
Tom Hewlett. I'm the senior associate producer on Silent Hill Downpour.
And we're going to be with you for the next 8 minutes and 30 seconds as we talk over this demo that you're trying very hard to listen to.
This is footage from our demo that we're presenting at E3 this year. It's some select footage. You'll get a good idea of the feel of the game and the atmosphere.
We'll try not to talk too much over it, but we'll chime in here and there as it goes along. For instance, this part right here.
Yeah, this is one of our door mechanics. Instead of having a million different locked doors, which wasn't very realistic, we tried to do something more interesting. So in that instance, Murphy came up across a fence, and there was a lock on it, and he had to find a weapon, in this case a crowbar, and then he used that to break the lock so he could pass through the door.
Another thing you just noticed there with the ladder, with all of our action points now, instead of having to press A to climb or press A to open or whatnot, we've tried to make most of the action points as seamless as possible. So ladders or areas that you need to duck under or whatnot will just be automatic. It's all about immersion. So, having to press buttons every time you do something kind of takes you a little bit out of the experience every time. So trying to make that an integrated feeling and really play upon the immersion of the game.
Yeah, Silent Hill as a series has always tried to maximize the immersion factor, because obviously if you're immersed in the experience, you're more likely to get scared. So, things like the sound, the graphics, the animation, the mature storyline, it's all supposed to be there and as realistically as possible to drag you into the game.
Yeah, Votcher did a really good job of making our environments look really natural and obviously creepy, but they really dirtied up everything. And the most impressive thing is how none of the environments really look similar from room to room or whatnot. So you're not going to get that cookie cutter experience of you walk into a room and you recognize the same textures on the walls that you did 4 rooms ago.
You can't undo it.
Another thing we're doing for immersion is having self-talks, like we did in Shattered Memories, where instead of hitting a button and seeing some text about what the player thinks, Murphy will just sort of think to himself or say things about what he thinks. The examples you're seeing here are placeholder for the time being. So in that last scene, Murphy talked an awful lot. We're still balancing those so he doesn't sound like a crazy person or anything like that.
Hello? Anyone here?
We've got some optional events throughout the game, so opening this cash register is not required. He's not solving an obscure puzzle or anything. He just saw a jukebox and found some money in the register, and now he can play an old fan favorite.
Yeah, we really wanted to let the player activate certain objects in the world and really get that immersion so that they can interact basically with any objects. You walk into a bathroom, there's a toilet there, and boom, you can use it. How did I know that?
But you wouldn't want to, because that would be disgusting.
Gas?
And here Murphy notices a gas leak, so he thinks he'll be a good Samaritan and maybe shut that off. But it's Silent Hill, so maybe that doesn't work out the way he was hoping. And there's our first Otherworld transition. You'll notice it had a lot to do with the water coming from the ceiling, and it did not in any way resemble the movie or Homecoming.
We just want to make sure people notice that.
Sometimes they miss it.
It also looked nothing like Alan Wake.
One key thing we try to do with our otherworld sequences in Downpour is think what you're doing change from moment to moment, so you never get too comfortable. You never really feel like you know what's going to be around the corner.
We've also have a slight homage back to the older games with a lot of fixed cameras interspersed throughout the environments, which you saw an example of back there.
You'll notice this still looks vaguely like the diner, but it's not the path Murphy just took to get in here. It's a totally different space.
So in some of our past demo write-ups, a lot of the journalists commented about the smoke monster that chases Murphy throughout some of these nightmare sequences. That's actually was placeholder back then when they had seen the builds, and this is what it was placeholder for.
We've also replaced the plane crash with a bus crash.
Yeah. And we've changed Murphy's placeholder name from Jack to Murphy.
This chase mechanic is obviously pretty similar to what was in Shattered Memories. People seem to like that, but they wish there was also more combat to that game. So since Downpour does have combat, we've also added in the chase sequences. So you get a nice balance of both.
This is our homage to Goonies. We are very big Steven Spielberg fans.
So what the... So here's a small taste of some of the combat in Downpour.
You notice Murphy's fighting with a crowbar here, but you can use objects strewn throughout the environments anywhere. So bottles, shovels, chairs, any object that you can find laying around is considered a weapon in Downpour.
And you'll see instead of shifting through an inventory full of millions of objects, Murphy just walks up and picks up a weapon so he can fight with whatever's in his hand.
So we hope you enjoyed the demo. Stay tuned to the Silent Hill Facebook page for more updates, and we'll look forward to sending more information your way over the next few months.